I guess we're back with the house in Fata Morgana. It's been a while. What, a week probably? I haven't had the chance to record too much. I have finals tomorrow. So of course, I'm studying history with the house in Fata Morgana, of course. Of course. It's a natural thing to do. So we're here with Michelle's backstory. In 1080 what? 6? Right? Amy frequently visited my chambers. I didn't know if it was mother's request or of her own volition, but I prayed that it was the latter. She was a very touchy-feely person. She seemed to have a particular fondness for playing with my hair. Whenever her voice danced its ways into my ears, it would wreak havoc inside of me. Being enveloped in her scent day after day, stroked the fire growing inside within me. I did my best to remain as straight-faced as possible, because the last thing I wanted was her catching on. I understood that the things I was feeling were untoward, to say the least. You're here so utterly enchanting. At first I was like, okay, the game will voice act this. But no, that's not gonna happen. I finished playing the letter a couple days ago. Coming out of it, I didn't expect to like the game so much. I don't know. I just really like it now, when the day before finishing it, I was like, yeah, this game's okay. Anyway, never seen hair so white before. I think having color is much prettier. Oh? Well, George's white is the most difficult color to make with paint. There's no greater challenge than capturing the beauty of true white. Living with such a splendid example of the color must have given him a very high standard of quality. Say, Michelle, maybe you could tell me about yourself today. I'd love to get to know you better. Tell you about myself? Yeah. We could become even better friends if we found some mutual interests. I enjoy playing chess. I consider myself quite good. Oh my! Chess? Never played. You're such a bright girl, Michelle. Would you like to try? I could teach you. I appreciate the offer, but I think I'll pass. I doubt I'd be any good. Okay. What else is there? Say, your favorite kind of flower, fragrance, color, gemstone? Are there any embroidery patterns you're particularly skilled at? I don't have any favorites, no. I'm not especially good with the needle either. No? Do you have shaky hands then? Now, I thought about making like a kind of ironic joke. Like, favorite kind of flower. I thought about saying, what is Michelle, a girl? But I think that would be bad taste, so I'm not going to say it. Like I did just there. I said it anyway. You see, I said it like you get it. No, do you have shaky hands then? I wouldn't say that, no. I'm fairly good with a knife, I think. A knife? Oh, like a kitchen knife? No, a sculpting knife. Sculpting? Is that really so strange? It is a bit unusual, I'd say. But George does it all the time. His room is practically made of wood chips and charcoal and paint. George is an artist, and a man. There's nothing unusual about him doing sculpting. Why is it okay for him and not me? Does being a girl really make that much a difference? Well, why don't we practice embroidery together, Michelle? Don't change the subject! I get the feeling you've spent too much time with your brothers. But now you have me. I'm sure it won't be long before you appreciate how much fun cooking and needlework can be. She sounds just like Mother. She gives the same reason too. Because I'm a girl. That's not an explanation. It's a vague generalization. That said, if I agree, spend more time with her. Okay. Wonderful! We'll come up with beautiful designs together. When you've made something you're proud of, you can give it to a boy who catches your eye. Or if you prefer, you can give it to your father or brother. I'd like George to have what I make, though. I've been wondering, do you and George's meet at the royal court? Oh, heavens no! Never been to the court. One day, my father told me I was getting married. The next day is when we first met. It happened that quickly? What, are you worried about me, Michelle? Don't worry, not displeased with the arrangement. In fact, I'm quite happy with it. Aristocratic marriages are almost always sudden. And as a woman, You get used to being a piece in their games. But George is he's different. He's a gentleman. A gentleman? Him? You sound surprised. I believe hedonist, that's his hedonist, hedonist? No, it's hedonist. Suits him better. Oh, I quite disagree. In complete faith he'll do good by me. I couldn't fathom where she found such confidence in him. Especially a man she'd only just met. How could she trust him at all? She was nothing but a pawn, and she knew it. So maybe she was simply putting on an act. I had trouble believing her smile was anything but genuine, though. One day, you'll meet the right man for you, Michelle. And he won't be a drunk like the guy from earlier. He'll be a kind, hard-working, respectable man. I would rather not find anyone. Suppose this is all too soon for you, huh? Say, how old are you, Michelle? 14. Oh, wow. I assumed you were younger. Do I really look that young? No hard feelings. You're just like a tiny little doll, so small and slender. And look, not one bit of meat up here at all. Hold on, 1 second. Hey! There. She playfully grabbed me from behind. Started prodding at my chest. As her delicate fingers slid across my skin, I found myself gripped by very indecent urges. Every heavy lump of my heart felt sinful. She couldn't know. I couldn't let her. Everything I'd been fighting to keep down, came hurling to the surface. You're so cold, you know that? She was touching me like it was nothing, caressing my hair. Was she this intimate with George's? Or was it because I was a younger girl that she was so keen on putting her hands... She was so keen on putting her hands all over me? Before I understood what I was feeling, my body acted. It was pure, unfiltered impulse. My attempt to escape from her grip, twisted around only to find my face inches from Amy's. Slowly gravitating closer, I pressed my lips against the corner of her mouth. Michelle! Amy sat there, flabbergasted. I was equally aghast. I'm sorry. As I frantically put some distance between us, I'm sure my face was red as an apple, but I didn't know it at the time. Well, that was certainly unexpected. Sorry. Did I make you feel uncomfortable touching you so much? Whoa! She thought it was just a make her feel uncomfortable back. Yes! It's okay, Michelle. You won't be like sent to an old mansion for 10 years or anything, don't worry. Amy was smiling, though it looked forced. No, not at all. And it must have startled you. I'm sorry, if I'd let you go sooner, I could have avoided this accident. What do you mean? Michelle, come on! Play with it! Accident! A kiss on the lips was... Michelle, you're fun, Joe. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't Amy, I seem to have confused you somewhat, Michelle. What? I know I can be very touchy-feely with you, and you don't mean you should do the same. No. You can't do that again, alright? You want to kiss your friends, you do it on the cheek. Save the lips for the man you love. Alright, the French. I should get going then. George starts getting cranky if I don't give him enough attention. Hold on, Amy. So long, Michelle. She wouldn't hear me out. Once Amy had fled my chambers, that was when I finally comprehended my own emotions. That she had stolen my heart. But Amy was George's fiancée. No, that wasn't the problem. My body, was not meant for her love. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit harsh, but I mean, in those days, I guess that's true, but also, like, she's married to your, going to get married to your brother, so you shouldn't do that, like, at all. That's not a good move. I woke in the middle of the night to pain in my joints. Not enough exercise, I guess. I tried bending and stretching my arms and legs, but it did nothing. So after pondering on it for a bit, I decided to go for a late night walk to distract myself. Huh? As I approached the corridor adjacent to the courtyard, I heard a woman's voice. I'm still concerned about staying here. Amy's voice. Doing my best to remain perfectly quiet, I pressed myself up against the wall by the window and listened in on the conversation. I know it was improper to eavesdrop, but the sound of her voice had frozen me in place. It's Michelle. I'm afraid I've confused her. Uh-oh. Tiny jolting down my spine, my muscles all tensing up at once. The sound of my name rising to her lips, but not in the way I would have liked. She kissed. Amy! Sold me out! She kissed me. Well, almost, but how could I guess she thought of me that way? Why they told me she didn't have any female friends. They asked me to be one for her, which is why. So she had only been coming to see me because Monte had asked her to. Come on! I'd been afraid of that. Afraid that she wasn't there to be with me. That she had no fondness for me. That my yearning for her was one-sided. She kinda scares me, the way that she looks at me. Always watching every little move I make. I'm sensitive to that sort of thing. I can tell what's going through Michelle's mind. I managed to deflect it this time, but I should have never gotten friendly with her. She'd seen through me from day one. Understood what I was feeling before even I had. It's disgusting. Homosexuality. Oh, don't make me say that! People will just clip that! Homosexuality? Did I hear her right? Something inside me crumbled. Nor there came an intense sense of wrongness. There it was again. That overpowering discomfort. That fear coursing through my veins. That repulsion. That irritation. That apprehension. What on earth was I? Did I view Amy as a member of the same sex? Were the things I felt homosexual? I heard Amy sigh from beyond the window. Then the man beside her, who she was confiding in all this, replied, "She's still just a child." That voice? Nor with underdeveloped social skills besides. Understand that she's going to do and say some inappropriate things. It's not uncommon for a child to mistake admiration for love. And I didn't know this until recently. Once she gets into something into her head, she has a tendency to run with it without thinking. It was not the mains I'd assumed it was. Oh. The other day, she asked me to let her be a knight. I can't imagine how she thought that would end any other way. Why? It's not very often there a woman other than mother at the estate. I imagine she simply got nervous being around you and something got mixed up in her head. Why was the D-Dyer out there with her? So, we know that's D. So, D-Dyer or D-Dyer? D-Deer. D-Deer? D-Deer. D-Deer. I don't know. I hope that's all it was. Amy? Hadn't you told me you thought Georges was a gentleman? So what were you doing? Getting so friendly with the deer. And the deer? Weren't you my ally? Or is that all an act like her? You're going to be a knight. So why were you out here with your brother's fiancée? I'm glad to have you here, so I hope you can figure something out to make it work. I'll do what I can, but... And I'm kinda reluctant to say this to you. But something has to change. As it is, she kinda grosses me out. It hurts! This whole scene has somehow managed to hurt more than, like, most of the other doors. Maybe barring, like, Pauline's death. And a lot of Jacopo's interactions with the white-haired girl. But... And, you know, some of the stuff from Door 5. But this hurts right up there. She grosses me out. So what? I was some kind of sick, disgusting creature? All I'd done was show feelings for her. I couldn't be George's or Didier. The needles facing me expanded, both in size and number. Soon I was being skewered by a dozen of them. And the heated sighs rising from the courtyard only served to make the pain worse. All I could do was cover my ears and run. Why? What were you doing out there? The deer. Oh my gross, Amy. It's not real. It's all a bunch of lies. This entire house is nothing but a fraud. None of it was ever real. The family gatherings, Amy's smiles, the deer's kindness. George's? What about George's? Did he agree to the marriage knowing about them? What the heck are they thinking? Wanna know who's really disgusting? Dang it! I'll not cry. I will not cry! I can't let myself. Girls cry. Tears are for girls. Not for me. It's like that Little Buster song, boys don't cry. I bit down hard on my lip, wrapped myself in my sheets, and pressed my hand hard over my ears. Squeezed my eyes shut as tight as I could manage, trying to get away from the things I had seen. Images of them embracing the night threatened to float back to the surface, but I shook my head, casting them off. Praying I wouldn't have any nightmares, I drifted off to sleep. An angel sent from heaven. The next day I woke with a terrible fever. I hovered in a sweltering wave of heat, unable to tell dream and reality apart, listening to a seemingly endless stream of crackling noises. The sounds were coming from inside my body. That I was falling apart. Mother was horribly worried. I'd never been the most healthy child, but I'd never fallen this ill either. I couldn't get out of bed. My voice was raspy, like an old woman's. I was genuinely afraid I'd wither away and die. Mother called in doctor after doctor to see me, but they all said it was the flu. The bodily pain was common with the fever. While there's a doctor in the house, Mother is able to remain relatively calm. Once they were gone, the anxiety came back. She stayed with me day and night, even before going to sleep. Her hands gripped mine. They held me fast. She had her head bowed, as if in prayer. Don't worry. We'll be alright, Michelle. God is watching over you. He'll protect you. You're His child. You're His angel sent to Earth. He'll not forsake you. The doctors say it's just the flu. Though her words seem to be directed at me, there's a vacantness in her voice, as if they really were for herself. For so long she'd wanted a daughter. I couldn't understand her fixation, but seeing her there through my cloudy eyes, I wanted to apologize for everything spending time with her was agonizing. How are you feeling? Your mother's here for you, don't worry. Well, the only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gasp. I drifted in and out of sleep, Mother's hand wrapped around my own. And I had numerous dreams. In my dreams, I was a man. In my dreams, I was the deer, and I was George's. In my dream, I fell in love with Amy. And in my dreams, I loved her. You're disgusting. With one word, the dreams twisted into nightmares. My body was torn into fleshy chunks, and I sunk into the darkness. Huh? Several days later, my fever is gone, like it had never been there. However... Oh, what the... My voice did not recover. When I attempted to climb from my bed, the murderous pain in my joints came rushing back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. Ah! My voice was unbelievably deep. And the pain only got worse. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone hammering a spike into the back of my neck. It felt like my body was falling apart. Like my dreams were becoming reality. Michelle! Michelle! Mother scrambled into my chambers. Remember the time she'd spent at my bedside. A wave of relief came over me. I reached my hand out to show vulnerability. But she didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother. What's wrong with your voice, Michelle? Ah, I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michelle? Look at her restrained fear in her face. Mother stepped towards me, placing her hand on my forehead. Her palm felt hot against my skin. You don't have a fever, but I hurt all over. My joints. You're still sick, Michelle. But don't worry, you'll be fine in no time. Now, back to bed with you. You're a girl. You're a girl, so you shouldn't be sitting on the floor. So something happened regarding Michelle's sexual organs at birth that made it so... Oh, I gotta cut the video. Give me like a minute. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, we're back. We already read that. It's bad for your back. As Mother repeated the phrase, you're a girl, again and again. Which, you know, that sounds like she's trying to convince herself. That nagging sense that something wasn't quite right grew more distinct. Was I really sick? Was this actually my voice now? And if it was, what was I turning into? My voice was certainly not a girl's voice. My voice never went back to normal though. So Mother ordered me to remain in my room. I hadn't recovered yet, and so long as I was sick, I couldn't be let out. Again, something felt wrong about her calling it a sickness, but I had no evidence to the contrary. I had no way of knowing I wouldn't get others sick if I exposed them, as she claimed, so I had no choice but to do as she said. In time, Mother too had stopped visiting me. The only people I saw were servants. They did their jobs, but refused to look me in the eye. No one else came to see me, though. Not Amy, Didier, or George's. 1 month passed, and then 2, and then 3. Oh, wow. Hey, so, you know, Michelle's used to solid air confinement. Occasionally, the pain in my joints would withdraw, and other times it would worsen. Whenever I would drift off to sleep, I would hear the sound of my own joints creaking. I'd dream of a woman standing in the courtyard, her soft chestnut hair fluttering in the wind as she twirled to face me, a smile on her face and her breasts exposed. One day, after around 6 months of servants refusing to make eye contact, I stopped one and made a request. To have a mirror brought to my room. While he didn't acknowledge me, the next day, I had my mirror. By that point, I was fairly certain I knew what was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because none of the multicolored dresses hanging in my wardrobe fit me anymore. Pulling the heavy red cloth covering the mirror aside, a completely naked body came into view. Something resembling a mix of chuckle and a sigh of pity spilled from my lips. This is me. 6 months. After only 6 months' time, I could hardly recognize myself. Extending my hand for the mirror, traced the outline of my bony reflection. My shoulders lacked Mother's curves, and my skin Amy's sheen. I was pale and haggard, but structurally I looked like my brothers. Obviously, being younger than them and not as active, my muscles lacked any kind of strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a sword. I was a full head taller than I had been 6 months earlier, and I felt an odd certainty that I wasn't done growing either. Staring at myself in the mirror, I traced my name across the surface. Michelle. Don't need the last two. Yeah, Michelle. Oh, we switched sprites. Well, sprite portraits. For the first time in my life, I liked my name. Before, I kind of gave Michelle like my light voice, but now I talk in a deep voice like this. No. Did I read that? I still didn't. For the first time in my life, I liked my name. I still didn't think an angel's name suited me one bit, but it was staggering how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Those last 2 letters changed the meaning entirely, turning it from a girl's name to a boy's name. Now this makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for Didier, the envy I had for my brother's body. What is this song? Turn it up! No, don't actually turn it up. But this song is as the cool kids say, lit damn TBH. See, that's what the cool kids are saying. I've researched. The feelings I had for Amy, the indecent dreams I'd been having. I was always a male. I cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. I laughed so hard to the side of myself my stomach hurt. It was the first glimmer of light I had seen in this locked room for far too long. This was what it was supposed to look like. My life up until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl was all a lie. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. I was always a boy, but I had been told I was a girl, forced to act like one. Of course that wouldn't be alright. They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in this house needed to know. Fueled by this one desire, I wrapped a sheet over my shoulders and threw open my door. It seemed ridiculous how long I'd followed Mother's instructions and remained cooped up in my room. And now I felt fantastic. There truly was a God in heaven. And this change within me was His answer to my prayers. A manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed him. The further I proceeded through the corridors, the more eyes I felt on me. The midday sun shone obnoxiously bright through the windows. But now, with its piercing radiance illuminating my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light. Affection for the light. I could hear the family gathered in the great hall, everyone but me. The deer's voice complained about the simple meals the church provided, but his pride came through in his laughter. George's voice playfully bragged about his life at the royal court. Father's voice informed everyone his investments had borne fruit, and with the money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family's. She gave vague, empty indications she was listening, but mostly stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for George's, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact that she was sleeping with the deer. It was all a facade, a mere shadow of a family. It's a shame Michelle couldn't be here. Just you wait! Then we would have everyone. I was there. I was right there. I hadn't gone anywhere. You just locked me in my room. I'm sure you'll recover soon. I was never sick at all. The child you called Michelle was actually your son. That was all there was to it. Huh? What? Everyone's gaze is concentrated on me. I gave them all a quick glance, and then with my deepened voice I said, I'm cured. I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you? Father. Ah! Michelle? Michelle? This boy is Michelle? A wave of chatter spread through the hall. Mother went pale. Father objected. The deer stared. George escaped. Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl. What's going on? Someone tell me, what is the meaning of this? You're dressing your son up like a girl, Mother? I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise I wouldn't have put my hands on him like that. You lied to me. I would have never agreed to it had I known. No, you're wrong. Michelle's my daughter. You called that a girl? All these months I was worried because you said he was sick. But that was all a lie. You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him up in his room. Is that what this is? My voice cracked a little. And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop that, don't look at me. Don't give me that look. You said you could tell what's going through my mind, didn't you? What? Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so dang full of yourself. I have no interest in a whore like you. Oh! Got it! Oh! So why don't you go cry into Deer's arms? You... What? What? Huh? What are you talking about? Why the deer? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone want to explain that for me? What had once been a nice family meal is now utter chaos. What? I kind of expected that George's was just using the marriage as like a front to not get married, but no, that's not happening. He's just being treated on. For the briefest moment, I felt sorry for George's, but that whispered away almost immediately. There's a crash from the table, and dishes fell, shattering against the floor. Cursed. A chilling darkness oozed from her voice. She's cursed. She was my daughter. I saw it with my own eyes. I gave birth to her. She was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A malevolent curse had been placed on her. My mother lifted her head. I had difficulty believing that it was the same woman who had sat by my bedside as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess and deep creases covered her face. Restrain her. Throw her in her room and lock the door. She's a girl. A girl. She was a girl. I swear it. Open your eyes. Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cry sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheet off my shoulders, throwing it to the floor. I'm not a girl! And shouted. Eek! Restrain her. Please, someone restrain her. Fear reigned in the great hall. And then several moments of icy silence were broken by a muttering that shocked me as much as anyone else. You're not a boy or a girl. Yeah, okay. Thought so. What? What on earth are you? You're an abomination. You're not a boy. No, it's an abomination. Never mind. Abdominal? Snowman? What? I'd seen myself in the mirror, as undoubtedly male. Lacking in strength though they may have been, I had visible muscles. My chest was flat, and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep, and had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male. I had to be male. What else could I be? So why Why was Amy looking at me like some kind of strange creature? A chill ran down my spine. Suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being so exposed. There's nothing there. Got nothing there. Nothing there? I didn't understand what she was talking about. Unable to press further, I fell silent, at which point several servants burst into the great hall and restrained me. She's a girl. She's my daughter. While they seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over. She was a girl! His mother wailed. She wandered off somewhere. While they stood there in silence, my wits cracked again. Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. Georgie was still in a panic. Look, the laughing! Come on! I did all the laughing! My voice is gonna crack a little, okay? The deer clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, just when I realized I had made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. I mean, that was a cool scene and all, but you didn't have to burst into the dinner. You know, you could have gone into the years room and been like, yo, what's up? I'm a guy now. Also, I know you're cheating. Well, you're in an affair. So now, you know, you help me, I don't tell anyone. And they form a truce. I was once again caged up in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded over so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. Demon Child. I think that's a good enough place to call it. I'll be back a bit later today. With some more Fata Morgana, you know, instead of studying. So, see you guys then. Bye.